Man, this movie is so good. It acknowledges the comics so well. It pays great tribute to the comics that it's based on, and it's such a good movie. I'm so glad that Blue Sky is coming back because their old movies used to be really good, and then they had a streak of really bad movies, and now this movie's really good. This is possibly the best movie they've ever done. Maybe Blue Sky is finally back to making good, quality films. I can't wait to see what else they put out. Maybe it could be just as good as the Peanuts movie. No. No, no, not that. No! 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 There are 5 of these movies. 5. Ice Age Collision Course is the 5th film in the Ice Age franchise by the company of Blue Sky, the animation company, and they've made a 5th film to this franchise because that's completely necessary. We completely needed a 5th Ice Age movie because that's what we all definitely wanted, am I right? Actually, no. The series would have been fine with 1 movie, but no. They had to make 4 sequels because the Ice Age movies make bank. And this movie is about how the family is living happily and Peach is about to get married to Adam Devine, but oh no! Scrat causes some problems in space and makes a giant meteor come towards Earth. So Buck comes from the dinosaur world. He comes up to the world to be with the mammals, as he calls them, and he basically has a plan to reflect the giant asteroid back into space and get rid of it. And also, there may be some dinosaurs that come up from the dinosaur world that are after Buck and trying to kill him. So guys, I was not looking forward to Ice Age Collision Course at all. I mean, you obviously know that because it's been months since this movie's released. I mean, it's October and the movie came out in July and I never saw it, obviously, but I never saw it in theaters because the Ice Age franchise lost its steam like a decade ago. I mean, I liked the first movie. The first movie was actually really good. It had some really good humor, it had really good characters, the animation was great. It actually had some heart to it, which was really surprising. And then the second movie was just a clear cash grab and completely forgettable. I forget everything about that second film because it's when the series already started getting bad. That second film was already awful. And then the third film I think is slightly better than 2, but still not very good. And the reason I like 3 more than 2 is because Simon Pegg as Buck was super enjoyable in that movie and he was really funny at times. But overall the movie still was a cash grab and had a lot of dumb, childish, stupid humor. And then Ice Age 4 was worse than all of the movies previously, and that movie was so bad and so atrocious. And now we get a 5th film, and this film is worse than all the other Ice Age movies we've even had. And I'll tell you why. They at least tried to have heart with the first 4 movies. They at least tried to have some sort of message and try to make it a little bit deep, but the 5th film has nothing. This movie is atrocious from start to finish. The whole movie is made for 5-year-olds. 5-year-olds are the only people who could possibly enjoy this piece of crap because the people who made this are so stupid. I feel stupider after having watched this movie. I mean, I ranted on Norm of the North, and that movie made me super, super angry, as you remember in that video, and this movie made me possibly even more angry. This movie might even be worse than Norm of the North, and I never thought I'd say that. I mean, this movie is one of the worst animated movies to ever come out in general. This movie is just so freaking atrocious. Let's go through the characters of this movie, shall we? I really like Manny in the first Ice Age movie. I think Ray Romano did a good job voicing him, and in the first movie, he was a character that was sort of like the last of his race, and he was a very interesting, funny character in that first movie, but then after that, Ray Romano just half-assed all his lines in the sequels, and in this movie he does that as well. The only quality that Manny has in this movie is that he's sometimes a little bit stern, and he's also jealous of Peach's new husband. That's it. They reduced a good character from the first movie and turned him into a stupid, cliche father character who's overprotective. And it's so freaking dumb. They dumbed these characters down so much. Also Sid, who was enjoyable in the first movie, but then in the sequels and in this movie, he's so annoying. There's this thing about Sid in this character where he finds a woman, and that was just so stupid because first of all, who would love Sid? That's so freaking dumb, and it's just that whole thing with him and the girlfriend that he finds is just so cringy and awkward and not funny at all. I don't know what they were going for with it. And Diego, even in this movie, who I think was enjoyable in all of the Ice Age movies, even if his character lost a lot of depth as the movie went on, Diego was always pretty enjoyable, but in this movie he does nothing. He has no point to the story at all. You could have just cut Diego out and it wouldn't have mattered. And one of the other most annoying things about this movie is Crash and Eddie. Now, they were always annoying in all the Ice Age films, and in this movie, they're also super annoying. I hate them so much in this movie. All they did was just make stupid childish jokes about poop and pee and dumb things like that. Like, there's this one part where they're like, "Hey, Crash and Eddie, reporting for duty." Duty. Why? Why do you always make that joke in animated films? Why is that joke still being made? It's so childish and dumb. I don't even get it. Ugh. Another joke in this movie that Crash and Eddie made was about hashtags. Yeah, because they reference hashtags in the Ice Age period. I'm not kidding you. They were like, hashtag this, hashtag that. I don't know what hashtag means, but it sounds pretty cool. It's so dumb. Like, also, another character that they completely ruined in this movie was Simon Pegg as Buck. I enjoyed him a lot in Ice Age Dawn of the Dinosaurs. I thought he was a very fun character. He was the saving grace of that movie, even if that movie was pretty bad. But Buck is so annoying in this movie. From the first scene that he has where he's like sliding around singing Figaro, I immediately knew that he was gonna annoy me in this movie. I mean, Simon Pegg just had Star Trek Beyond and Star Wars The Force Awakens and Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, and now he's in this movie. Simon Pegg, I love you, man. I love you. You are such a good actor, but why did you go into this movie? I don't understand why. Did you just need a cash grab? You just needed a check from all the people. And every joke that Buck makes in this movie is unfunny. I was so angry because it was a character I liked before, and then he got completely butchered in this film. And like, he has this thing where he has like a baby, like his little he's like overprotective of this pumpkin for some reason, and he pretends it's his baby, and he's talking in this cute little voice like to it. Isn't Buck supposed to be a tough character? He's supposed to be a tough badass character who does all these cool things with dinosaurs, and in this movie, he thinks a pumpkin is cute. Why? Why? And Adam Devine in this movie was atrocious. Like, I actually like Adam Devine in the Pitch Perfect movies. Pitch Perfect is just an okay series, but I did enjoy Adam Devine in those movies. There are some enjoyable characters in Pitch Perfect, and he's one of them. But in this movie, he was so atrocious and annoying. Basically, the only thing his character does in this movie is serve as a love interest for Peaches and someone for Manny to get jealous of. And he's supposed to be like this super cool character that everybody loves, because he's always going like, bro, yeah dude, talking in that stupid, trying to be cool voice. He's supposed to be a character everyone except Manny likes. But in this movie, you constantly want this character to be killed because he's so annoying. I like Adam Devine, but in this movie, his jokes were horrible, and he was saddled with the most atrocious character possible. They try to get a little bit of emotion out of Peaches and his relationship, but the relationship is barely fleshed out, and you know nothing about this relationship, and it's just so dumb because you hate both characters, and they have this cliche thing where Manny's overprotective of her, and he doesn't like Adam Devine's character, and they try to make it all emotional and sad when Manny does something bad to him. It's like, stop with that. Stop with that cliche! I mean, in the first movie, you had a whole past with Manny. Manny had this really crazy backstory in the movie about how his family was killed by humans. It was a really touching backstory in the first Ice Age film, and they had some other really good backstories in that film as well with Diego. But in this movie, the only attempt at having a little bit of heart is to have Manny be jealous of Adam Devine. That's it! That's all this movie has to offer, and it sucks. It's so bad. Nobody cares about this romance. And also, Sid's granny in this movie. She was annoying in Ice Age 4, but in this movie, she's also so pointless. You could have cut her out. And why did you need to have her in this movie? Because she's so freaking annoying. Why do you need Sid's granny? I don't understand why you needed Sid's granny in this movie, because she's so freaking annoying and I hate her so much. And also, the villains in this movie are completely dumb. You don't know anything about these characters, they're not even fleshed out at all, and they're so annoying while they're there. It's like, if you have villains in a movie, you're supposed to flesh them out. The only point they have in this film is to cause a problem for the group. That's their only point. That's the only point they have. This movie is literally just so stupid. Like, the humor is just so dumb, and it's so stupid because you can tell that the people writing this movie and the people making this movie put no effort into it because the script seems like it's written by a 2-year-old. I'm not even kidding you. It seems like it's written by a little kid, and the fact that adults worked on this movie just blows my mind. I can't even believe it. It's crazy. And also, Scrat, who was very enjoyable in the other movies. He was pretty much the thing that you really like to see in the other Ice Age movies. In this movie, he's just in space the whole time doing extremely ridiculous stuff. Like, the stuff with Scrat was ridiculous before, but it gets to a point where you gotta, like, stop. You can't get too ridiculous. And they did that in this movie. They crossed the boundary with the Scrat scenes in this movie, and they're so dumb and ridiculous and stupid and not funny, and they were just such a waste of potential because I really like Scrat in the other movies, and in this movie, he sucks. Literally the only thing that could possibly be praiseworthy about Ice Age Collision Course is the animation, because the animation does look very good. It's obvious. I mean, it's Blue Sky Animation. They make some very... Their animation quality is very good, even if a lot of their films really suck. And that was the only pro with this movie, but that doesn't save the movie, because the entire movie is just atrocious and horrible. And it's good animation made for an atrocious movie. I mean, all this movie is literally just some guys going on a journey trying to get to some meteor thing. That's all it is. It's the entire plot. They're just trying to reverse some dumb meteor, and they just go on a journey to do it. It's so dumb, and there's this point towards the end. I don't care about spoilers. I'm gonna give you spoilers for this movie, where they go inside of a meteor, and there's this entire world inside of the meteor, and they introduce a lot of characters in there, like Sid's dumb girlfriend, and the Shigra llama, who was so annoying and stupid. That part of the movie is when the movie really got infuriating. I mean, I was infuriated before with a lot of the scenes in this movie, but that point in the movie, I was just losing my crap. I was so pissed off. Like, there are a lot of movies that get better as they progress. For example, Star Wars A New Hope. That's what was so great about Star Wars A New Hope. It progressively gets better and better and better scene to scene. And Ice Age Collision Course gets worse to worse to worse to worse to worse in every single scene. Whoever wrote the script for this movie is a man-child. That's all he is. This movie feels like 2 hours, even though it's not. It's only 1.5 hours. It feels so long and hard. It's just... that sounded kind of wrong, but... It feels so long and drawn out, and you just want it to end. And another scene in this movie that I absolutely hate is when they go inside Buck's brain, and there's these different figments of his imagination. And one of the figments of his imagination is a Neil deGrasse Tyson cameo. He's called Neil the Buck Weasel. That's his name. Is this just the year for Neil deGrasse Tyson to cameo in atrocious movies? I mean, I didn't think Batman v Superman was atrocious, but it wasn't good either, and he cameoed in that. And he also cameoed in Zoolander 2, which was a piece of crap, and then he cameoed in this movie! What are you doing, Neil deGrasse Tyson? You're not even an actor! Stop cameoing in terrible things! I mean, he's literally a figment of Buck's imagination. So I could imagine the writers trying to explain what's happening to Neil deGrasse Tyson, and he'd just be like, wait, what? Whatever, let's get this over with. I want my paycheck. Literally everything in this movie, besides the animation, reeks of laziness and horribleness, and it blows my mind that this movie even exists. It blows my mind wide open. This is definitely one of the absolute worst movies I've seen all year, and I'm gonna give Ice Age Collision Course an F. Guys, an Ice Age movie has never been this bad. Even with Ice Age 4, it probably would have been a D or a D-. But this movie truly is an F. It brings Ice Age to a new low that I didn't think it could reach. This franchise is just so dead. I mean, number 4 took the nail and put it into the coffin. This movie buried the coffin. That's what it did. Ice Age Collision Course failed, and the fact that they're planning to make a 6th movie is just... ugh! So guys, if you saw Ice Age Collision Course for some reason, comment your thoughts on it. Don't see it though. Don't see it. Obviously, don't watch it. And be sure to like this video, be sure to subscribe, be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Okay, bye I guess.